Since late November, basketball season has been building to this. Tonight, a champion will be crowned in 4A District 9 girls basketball. And it is a rematch from 12 months ago as the #1 seed Cocoa Tigers battle the #3 seed Atlantic Sharks with the district title and an automatic bid to the state playoffs on the line. Hello and a very warm welcome to tonight's broadcast of MGT Sports Productions FHSAA 4A District 9 basketball. My name is Michael Torello. Mel Stack Jr. is once again alongside me. Mel, after two great semifinal games on Wednesday, we're down to the final two teams here. What should the mentality of Cocoa and Atlantic be coming into tonight?
Michael, first and foremost, thank you very much for having me on. The mentality for both teams will be slightly different going into this one. For Cocoa, I think the most important thing is not letting the home court advantage for Atlantic play against them. It seems like there's at least a handful of people here, and I think that'll be one of the most important things moving forward.
The Atlantic Sharks come into the finals with a record of 10-5 after an upset victory over the #2 Titusville Terriers on Wednesday, 55-44. The Sharks jumped out to a lead in the first half behind lights-out shooting of senior Lindsay St. Jean, who had 15 first-half points and hit 5 of 7 from three-point range, eventually finishing with a game-high 18. Atlantic fought off a second-half comeback attempt by Titusville to advance to the finals. Fellow senior Aliana Jones added 14 points and 9 rebounds, and standout sophomore Tristan O'Berry had 15 points. I spoke to Atlantic head coach George Butts before the game to talk about the Sharks' semifinal win, the rematch with Cocoa, and about what will be likely his last game on the sidelines at the Shark Tank. I'm here with Coach George Butts before the 4A District Final here at Atlantic High School. The Sharks are going up against the Cocoa Tigers in a rematch of last year's final. Coach, before we talk about tonight's matchup, talk to me a little bit about Wednesday. Big win over Titusville, upset victory. You controlled the pace really from beginning to end. What did you see on Wednesday?
Yes, that was our game plan. Once we got out on them, that we would control it, and we jumped on them like we wanted to. And I was happy with the way we started. That's why we were able to control the game.
The team was led on Wednesday by the seniors, Aliana Jones and Lindsay St. Jean. St. Jean draining 5 of 7 threes in the first half. Really led the way for you guys offensively. Is that going to be a similar strategy tonight?
I hope so. I've challenged them on Wednesday, and I've already challenged them for tonight. And with this rematch from last year, we're on our home court, and it's their job to lead us.
As you said, rematch from last year, 12 months ago, Cocoa got the better of you in the finals. And what is going to be different about this matchup for you guys to come out on top?
We're going to have to play for 32 minutes. Cocoa's a great team. Their coach is a good coach, and they play hard, and we've got to play harder.
On Wednesday, we saw Cocoa demolish Astronaut using a combination of 3-man and full-court press. And we've seen earlier in the season that you guys have struggled press breaking a little bit. What is your plan to deal with their up-tempo defense?
Hopefully we'll handle it a little better now that we're dealing with it a little better. Most teams that press don't like to be pressed.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight.
All right.
We're back. The #1 seeded Cocoa Tigers breezed through the semifinals with a 66-27 win over the Astronaut War Eagles. After a slow first quarter that saw the Tigers only lead by 4, Cocoa turned on the style in the second quarter and never looked back, scoring 17, 17, and 20 points in the second, third, and fourth quarters respectively to pull away. Junior forward Victoria Zador led the way with 14 points. Seniors Shakara Robinson and Jelaya Flowers added 13 points each, and sharpshooting sophomore Savannah Arroyo scored 12 points. Mel, what did you see tactically from Cocoa on Wednesday that will help them win another district title tonight?
A few key points. It's all about seizing the moment on transition points. What Cocoa did really well in the game that we broadcasted for just a few days ago, they did a really good job of forcing turnovers and then using the fast break to score a lot of transition buckets down the stretch.
We have a little bit of a delay here at the Shark Tank. We should be getting ready for a pregame, but one of the referees is not here yet, so we will hold off on keys to the game for right now. They just put 10 minutes back on the pregame clock, so we've got some time to fill here, Mel, so we can talk about the two games yesterday, or Wednesday rather. Let's start with the game we were just mentioning, Cocoa and Astronaut. Astronaut, they only had 6 dressed players. They put up a pretty big fight, but in the end, they were just overwhelmed.
At the end of the day, Cocoa, they really made the most of their 5 to 7 players that they used in their rotation. They also used their numbers to their advantage to really push that transition fast break buckets.
And in the second game, we saw kind of a mirror match of styles between Titusville and Atlantic. Both love to play fast-paced offense, high press on defense, force turnovers, but Atlantic just, I think they outperformed Titusville last night.
I agree. And tactically speaking, one aspect that I'm really excited to see, I'm curious to see how much will each team look to their benches. I mean, today's Friday, it's the end of a week. Both teams probably a little mentally and physically fatigued, and we'll see how tactically each team will make certain adjustments moving into this game.
All right, we will take a break. There's 8 minutes and 50 seconds left on the pregame clock, but we are just waiting until that final official gets here. So we'll take a short break and be right back. You're listening to 4A District 9 Playoff Basketball on MJT Sports Productions. Live from courtside here at the Shark Tank on the campus of Atlantic High School in Port Orange, Florida. This is the FHSAA 4A District 9 Girls Varsity Basketball Tournament. We are in the final round. Michael Turillo, Mel Stack Jr. here. We're in a little bit of an extended pregame as we wait for a referee to arrive. Mel, let's talk about this Atlantic team. It's going to be a tough task to pull the upset again tonight like they did on Wednesday. How do you see them getting it done?
It'll be a tough task, but the ways in which they'll be able to go about accomplishing this, first and foremost, get the ball to your playmakers. For instance, the game that we commentated on just a few days ago, I mean, let's talk about the performance of their let's talk about the performance of Atlantic's playmakers. For example, Lindsay St. Jean, 5 three-pointers in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, and basically every time she had the ball in open space, she shot it. Doesn't matter from where or from when. She had a quarter court three that went in midway through the second quarter. Everybody was on their feet here. It was an insane performance. They cooled off in the second half, but they were able to build enough of a lead to sustain it. But who I want to talk about is fellow senior Aliana Jones. 14 points last night, the tallest player that the Sharks will use normally in their rotation. So she'll play sort of a hybrid center power forward position, and she is key for making spaces outside for the shooters.
It'll be interesting to see how much they utilize her in this one, Michael.
And on the Tigers side, Victoria Zador, 5'10", a great athlete, just a fantastic athlete. She gets to the bucket, she creates space, she draws fouls for Coco, and she just bullies the entire game, as we saw on Wednesday.
All in all, I really do expect Atlantic to take advantage of the height advantage that they do have in this one. Maybe it'll be in the manner in which they feed these people down low by the basket for those high percentage shots, or like you mentioned earlier, with the lower percentage shots, but they can get hot and they can heat up from three, from behind the arc.
Now for the final time this girls basketball season, it's time for the MJT Sports Productions keys to the game. For Atlantic, you got to break the press. Coco built their lead against Astronaut by getting points off turnovers using the press. If Atlantic can consistently get into the front court and run their offense, they have the chance to be successful. And for Coco, you got to close out on the three-point shooters. Atlantic has lived and died on outside shooting for long stretches of the season, especially on Wednesday. If Coco can limit the number of open looks the Sharks get, they take away the best opportunity for Atlantic to stay in the game. I think the final referee has just arrived, and we are just about getting set to go, so we'll take a quick break and be right back with the national anthem, the starting lineups, and playoff basketball. You're listening to 4A District 9 Girls Basketball Tournament on MJT Sports Productions. Just a quick update as we wait for the starting lineups. The microphone here at the PA that the announcer uses here at the scorers table is having a little bit of a malfunction. We are waiting a little bit for that to get going. So while we have a minute, you wanted to mention Coco's balanced scoring attack.
Yes, Michael, I think that'll be an additional key to this game for Coco. What makes them especially dangerous is not only the fact that they do have those playmakers, that they do have the ability to drive the lane, but they also have those sharpshooters from outside as well. I'm really interested to see how Atlantic comes out on defense, whether they'll play more of a zone or more of a man formation.
And we're going to start with the non-starters. Number 1, Tamaria Stanley. Number 3, Jolie Marcy. Number 11, Soraya Amon. Number 21, Talasia Pratt. Number 22, Michaela Green. Number 24, Kaylee Mapley. And number 32, Mariah Parks. And for the starting lineup, we have 00 junior, Victoria Zador. Number 5, sophomore, Savannah Rayo. Number 10, senior, Shakar Robertson. Number 12, senior, Julia Flowers. Number 15, junior, Maya Lewis. And that is the Cocoa Beach team. And now for your Atlantic Sharks. Of course, we have Coach George Woods in the building. And for our non-starter, we have number 21, Alexia Brooks. Number 0, Kamari Brown. Number 33, Bailey Cameron. Number 5, Kyla Elizabeth. Number 11, Kyra Isaac. Number 30, Kylie Isaac. Number 14, Vanessa Spada. And for your starting lineup, number 3, sophomore, Yeshaya Israel. Number 4, sophomore, Tristan O'Berry. Number 23, junior, Kiki Pickett. Number 10, senior, Lindsay St. Jean. And number 2, senior, Aliana Jones. Let's play nice, ladies.
All right, starting lineups are on the floor. Victoria Zador, Savannah Arroyo, Shakara Robinson, Jalaya Flowers, and Mia Lewis for the Tigers. And for the Sharks, it's Aliana Jones, Yeshaya Israel, Tristan O'Berry, Lindsay St. Jean, and Kiana Bean. No changes to either starting lineup from Wednesday night. All right, if you're standing somewhere, I would recommend sitting down, grabbing a drink, getting some dinner, sitting back, and relaxing, because it is going to be an entertaining next couple of hours of basketball, and we will bring it for you right here on MJT Sports Productions live from courtside. The Cocoa Tigers are on the floor. They are the number 1 seed, so they wear the home white, orange stripes down the side, black numbers, orange trim. For the Sharks, they're in their road black, teal numbers, teal trim, white stripes down the side. The referees are ready. The players are ready. Flowers and Jones, the tip goes to Coco. Let's play finals basketball, and immediately down low, it is Shakara Robinson with the opening bucket, 2-0 Coco.
Coco immediately opening up with the press here.
As we saw last night, but the Sharks break it into the front court. The ball runs long. Here's Bean from the corner. It's good for 3. And now the Sharks will press themselves. Into the front court come the Tigers. 2-on-1 if they want it. To the hoop. And laying it up and no good is Shakara Robinson. And the Sharks take the rebound. Here's Kiana Bean and the Tigers back off and run a half-court defense. Into the front court. Here's Yeshaya Israel between the circles. Left-hand wing. Here's Kiana Bean. Being guarded by Arroyo. Back to the top for O'Berry. O'Berry has the ball poked away from her and throws it to St. Jean. Is that rotation of high ball screens we saw a lot. Now to the left-hand corner. Thinking about a 3 is O'Berry. She pitches it inside to Bean at the free throw line. Now she walks back to the top. Remember, no shot clock here in high school basketball, but a strip by the Tigers. Taking it away is Zador, and then Zador stripped from behind by Tristan O'Berry. O'Berry runs the floor up to Aliana Jones, up, and she'll go to the line for a foul as she got hit from behind by Jalea Flowers.
2 shots. What a segment here, Michael. What are your thoughts?
I mean, a fast start for the Sharks, and they're going to have to keep that pressure up and turn the ball over. They got a little bit lucky that they missed a layup over here on the right-hand side. Jones at the line for 2, off the front of the rim and good. Aliana off to a fast start.
Current score is 4-2, 6 minutes and 43 seconds in the first period.
And it's going to be really important if the Sharks get out to a lead here to not slow down as Jones makes them both. 5-2. Across the timeline quickly to Zador. Left-hand corner, Arroyo. She's a sharpshooter, but it's no good. Long rebound is grabbed on the baseline by Flowers for Coco. Arroyo again in the right-hand wing. She'll walk it back to the top. And Zador, the tallest player on the floor, is going to run the offense from the point. Now Arroyo takes her place between the circles, guarded very loosely by FHSAA Israel. Left-hand wing, here's Robinson. Robinson, left-hand drive, kicks it to the corner for Flowers. Flowers throws it underneath the basket. It is up, and it is no good, but a foul is called.
A late whistle from the ref there.
Yeah, I thought that Aliana Jones was going to get away with that.
Shooting 2 shots.
But Jones bumps Lewis, and Lewis will go to the line.
First team foul.
Yeah, and free throw shooting is probably going to be very important tonight with both teams playing that kind of up-tempo offense. First one is up and good.
Especially down the stretch here. I mean, once the second half starts to set in, I'm very interested to see what the free throw shooting percentage will be like down the stretch.
And if this game ends up being close down the stretch, whoever hits the most free throws could come out and be the winner.
I mean, sometimes these games are won and lost at the line.
Hitting them both is Mia Lewis, and into the game for the first time is Tamaria Stanley. She replaces Lewis as Coco gets a rotation in early, and here's the press from the Tigers. "5-3 the score, Sharks with the lead. And the full court press comes from the Tigers. Bean throws it across the timeline. Into the front court comes O'Berry. Right-hand corner working on Arroyo. Back to the top for Bean. Now St. Jean thought about a 3, but pitches it to the left-hand corner for Yisrael, who walked back to the top. Yisrael drives the lane, kicks it out to O'Berry. She turns away from one defender, now double-teamed. Kicks it to the corner, a 3 on the way. Too strong from Yisrael, and it's going to be bumped out of bounds by Robinson and an Atlantic ball. Kiana Bean will inbound it under the basket that the Sharks attack to listeners left. Bean throws it high up top for St. Jean, steps around one defender, takes a long 2, back iron no good, and the rebound goes to Zador. Victoria Zador is going to be guarded closely by Israel, but she bounces it across midcourt to Robinson. Robinson in front of the Sharks bench to listeners right, into the corner. Stanley thought about a 3, but she skips it back to Robinson at the top. Robinson looking for a screen. Arroyo steps inside of the corner, hands to Stanley. Stanley back to the top for Robinson. Robinson lost the basketball, and it's into the hands of FHSAA Israel. Israel runs the floor, gets double teamed down low, got to get rid of it, can't step. Tries to find Aliana Jones, and it's through her hands and out of bounds. Sharks will run a full court press. Only Aliana Jones back behind the half court line. The inbounds pass comes to Zador. She's immediately trapped, gets it to Flowers. Flowers tries to split a double team, and she gets hacked on the arm. That's not a foul now that Atlantic is going to want to give up more than probably once.
Especially moving into the second quarter. I mean, these team fouls, they do start to add up, which eventually leads to the bonus.
But as we heard Coach Butts say in the pregame interview, as Arroyo controls for the Tigers, that a lot of times teams that like to press on defense don't like being pressed, as Arroyo dances on the top, gets a screen, it shovels around to the left-hand corner, 3 on the way from Robinson, good. Shakara Robinson up to 5 points, and it's 6-5 Coco. Here comes the 3 press from the Tigers again. Lindsay St. Jean shovels it across to Aliana Jones. Jones around a double team, gets knocked over. The ball gets taken away from behind by Arroyo. Arroyo, backdoor pass, in transition, a layup no good from Robinson. Battle for the rebound down low, won by the Sharks. And coming away with it is O'Berry, and then she gets chopped down by Flowers, and Flowers does not like the call.
What you're starting to see here, Michael, Atlantic, they're actually doing a very good job of breaking that trap, which Coco has been so successful implementing these past few games here.
Yeah, low-scoring game, 6-5 Coco, 4:20 to play in the first quarter. Kiana Bean controls. She bounces it short to St. Jean into the corner for O'Berry. O'Berry looking for someone to pass. She tries to float it into the high post to Bean. Then O'Berry gets it back. Berry drives baseline. Kicks to Bean. Bean thought about a drive but is forced to the middle by Arroyo. Now Bean, right hand drive baseline. Has the ball ripped away by Arroyo. Jump ball. That's fantastic one-on-one defense by Savannah Arroyo. But it will be Atlantic ball off the possession arrow. Baseline inbound for Bean. Looking for somebody open, throws it to the top for Aliana Jones. Jones to the right-hand corner for O'Berry, who hands short to Yisrael. Yisrael drives, splits a double team, gets to the inside, gets a shot blocked by Zador, and now Zador throws it up for Arroyo, and then the ball is deflected as it was trying to go underneath to Stanley, and it'll be an inbounds for Coco under the basket that they attack to listeners' right.
Atlantic, they're really doing a good job with that transition defense, Michael. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, nice tracking back, but as the game progresses, I want to see if they keep sprinting back like that, even in the second half.
Can they maintain that? Of course.
Inbounds goes to Zador, and one. First on Lindsay St. Jean. It'll be tough to shake a foul on St. Jean because she is their top shooter. And Zador just bullied that. Caught the ball into the basket and put it up and in. Her and one is also good. So Victoria Zador is on the board. And it is 9-5 Coco. Coco has scored 9 of the last 11 points. Sharks walk across the timeline with it. Here's Bean. Top here is O'Berry. Back to Bean, who had to sky for the ball. And now she'll settle it down, guarded by Robinson. Back to O'Berry in the high, out high. Left-hand corner, here's Alexia Brooks, who's just checked in. And her three-pointer is too strong, goes out of bounds. Coco basketball.
Both teams playing with pretty tall lineups here.
Yeah, I mean, Victoria Zador, as we said, tallest player on the floor at 5'10", and she's really using her height to her advantage down low. Left-hand wing, Coco controls the basketball with Tamaria Stanley. She gets a screen, throws it left-hand wing into the corner for Arroyo. Her three-pointer is on the way, back iron no good. Long rebound is fought for and grabbed by Zador, and the Tigers maintain possession, 2:58 to go. Zador drives and will be fouled before she can get a shot off.
Foul on the floor.
That'll be the first on Yeshaya Yisrael. And Coach Butts wants a timeout to talk things over. It's only a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. As the official healthcare champion of Volusia County Schools, Advent Health is committed to providing championship caliber care. With 4 hospitals, 4 urgent care centers, and 6 sports medicine and rehab locations across Volusia County, Advent Health is here to keep your student athlete off the sidelines and get them back in the game. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. Pretty slow offensive start, Mel, but Coco seem to be finding their rhythm here as we get towards the end of the first quarter.
They're really taking advantage of those transition buckets, as we talked about before the game. We'll see if they can continue to do that, and we'll see if Atlanta can make them rather uncomfortable during those moments.
And for Atlantic, they're not really executing what we said before the game, which is knock down shots when they're given to you.
Atlantic, I think they just need to remain composed, not let the moment get too big to them, or get too big for them, and play the game.
Inbounds pass goes to Robinson. Back up top, Stanley is the Tigers control. Into the corner, Arroyo, open three. High rebound is grabbed by Robinson. Out to Zador. Zador drives, Euro step. She's fouled. No, she traveled. That's a let-off for the Sharks because she was barreling towards the goal.
Atlantic settling into their half-court offense here.
Interesting that the Tigers have chosen to let them play half-court here. Bean walks across the timeline with it, 2:35 to go first quarter, they're down 9-5. Bean controls, guarded by Robinson. High post, here's Jones. Jones loses the basketball, out of bounds, ball to Coco.
2 minutes and 29 seconds here. I mean, it really has been a defensive showdown to start here.
Yeah, but those are the kind of mistakes like Jones just made, just throwing the ball to nobody out of bounds that you really can't be making in a game like this.
Careless mistakes in a game, the margin for error is very slim.
9-5 lead and the basketball for the Coco Tigers. High screen as Robinson tries to get around it. Hands to Stanley in front of the scorer's table. Then she'll walk back to the top. Her heels on the Atlantic logo at center court. Left-hand wing, here's Arroyo, guarded by Yisrael. Throws it into the right-hand corner over the head of Stanley, and both teams will have an empty possession via a bad pass.
Both teams certainly ambitious with these pass choices here, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, if I was either coach, I would want to see them play a little bit more simply, a little bit more cautiously, try and get more screens, get lanes to the bucket here early. 1:53 to go, first quarter. Bean into the front court. Now 9-5 of the Sharks. Here's Tristan O'Berry. O'Berry tries to split a double team, throws it to Bean. Her three-pointer from straight on is no good. Rebound ping balls around and is grabbed by the Tigers. They try to push the pace with Zador. Left-hand corner, Robinson. Her three-pointer is good. 8 points for Shakara Robinson. It's 12-5 Tigers. Kiana Bean of the front court, guarded by Robinson. High post, here's Alexia Brooks. Brooks to the right-hand corner. Three on the way from Yisrael. It's too short, and the rebound goes to Savannah Arroyo for Coco. Coco will slow it down. A minute to go in the quarter. 12-5, Coco leads, and it looks like Coco maybe will hope for the final shot here of the quarter. Floater to the left-hand wing for Robinson. Robinson drives, kicks to Arroyo. Straight on three is back iron, no good, but an offensive rebound by Zador. Zador drives baseline, gets to the lane. He lays it up and no good, and the rebound goes to Kiana Bean for the Sharks.
Atlantic bringing the tempo on this possession.
Bean looking to drive at Robinson, gets to the baseline and will get fouled. And that'll be the first foul on Savannah Arroyo.
Third team foul.
And what I'm really seeing here early, Mel, is that Victoria Zador is basically getting a buffer. Like, Atlantic is not like attacking her really when she drives the lane. Underneath the basket, here's Aliana Jones, gets a shot blocked, gets her own rebound, puts it up, and hangs on the rim. No good, but a foul.
The late whistle, 2 shots.
And Aliana Jones at the free throw line. That's the first on Victoria Zador. It might be important to get her in foul trouble. Last night for Coco, or for Atlantic rather, Aliana Jones, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, and she gets another one to fall. She's now 3 of 3 tonight.
For Atlantic, they're definitely going to want to get her more involved down low. Try and draw the foul, try and shoot those high percentage shots down the stretch.
She hits them both, now 4 for 4 from the line on the season, 55% from the charity stripe. Quickly into the front court, here's Arroyo, left-hand corner. She drives baseline and is going to be fouled, and the entire Atlantic bench did not like that call. And it's going to be the second on Aliana Jones. So Arroyo will go to the free throw line. Her first trip. She shoots a ridiculous 70% for the free throw line this season. Arroyo misses, and she's still scoreless in the ball game. Arroyo, 11 points
I expect
on Wednesday night.
I expect her to heat up moving down the stretch, moving into the second quarter and beyond, especially from 3.
Second free throw is up and good, 1 for 2, 13-7. Sharks trail, and with the basketball, Kiana Bean will walk across the timeline with it, 25 seconds to go as the Coco Tigers play their half-court defense.
Atlantic running down the clock here to the very end for that last shot.
Just holding for the final shot. O'Berry, long two, banks it in! Tristan O'Berry on the scoreboard, 13-9, and the Tigers will not get a shot off at the end of the quarter. That's the end of the first quarter. Your score, 13-9, Coco over Atlantic. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of 4A District 9 playoff basketball. Advent Health is here for you and with you during every tip-off, every time out, and every season to support you physically, mentally, and spiritually in this game called life. Advent Health is on your team. They're your biggest fan, and they're here to help you feel whole. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Volusia County School Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. 13-9 Cocoa over Atlantic. Tigers lead the Sharks. Michael Toretto along with Mel Stack Jr. here live from courtside. And Mel, tight contested game, just Cocoa taking advantage of a little bit more opportunities.
It's been a fantastic matchup so far, Michael. Cocoa, they've really done a good job of maintaining that balanced defense, whether it's the full court press some of the time or whether that's letting Atlantic kind of play their game and play the half-court offense down the stretch.
Cocoa will get the ball first in the home white, going left to right across your radio dial. Long throw into the left-hand corner for Tamaria Stanley. Back up top for Arroyo. Arroyo back to Stanley and back to Arroyo. And now right-hand corner, here is Robinson. She leads the way with 8 points. Robinson to Zador, baseline drive, gets to the lane, kick out Robinson, her drive, baseline floater, off the window, no good. Offensive rebound by Stanley. Her putback is no good. Aliana Jones crashes to the floor, and there's a whistle.
Call on the floor, offensive foul against Cocoa.
And they're going to get Mia Lewis for her first foul.
Cocoa not showing press here again. Interesting, Michael.
Yeah, it seems that maybe after they don't want to tire out their team by pressing too much against the Atlantic press. Here's Lindsay St. Jean, left-hand corner, bounce pass underneath. St. Jean gets it back, 3 on the way. It's good for Lindsay St. Jean, and she's on the board. 13-12. Here comes the press for Atlantic. The Tigers break it. Arroyo underneath the basket. Back up top to Stanley. Stanley drives. Floater in the lane. Good.
Terrific response from Cocoa there.
Yeah, Tamaria Stanley. Real easy floater from just inside the free throw line. And the Sharks back to work offensively. Down by 3. Thrown under the basket into the left-hand corner. Back to the top. St. Jean thought about a 3. It came off her foot. But right to Bean, and the Sharks control. 6:40 to go in the first half of play. They're down 15-12. Bean, high post, Aliana Jones drives, spins, throws up a layup. It is off the rim, no good. And a quick steal by Atlantic. O'Barry loses the basketball, gets it back in the left-hand corner. She drives the lane, puts up a floater. It's no good. And the rebound is grabbed by Mia Lewis, and then a tie-up underneath is going to go to Cocoa. Oh, no, it's going to go to Atlantic. Into the ball game for the first time, Haley Mokwee, the tallest player on either team, 5'11", or excuse me, the freshman for Atlantic, Kylie Isaac, is 6'1", but we probably won't see her tonight. Atlantic to inbound baseline. It's out to O'Barry. O'Barry to the corner for Yisrael. Thought about a 3, won't take it. And back to the top it comes for O'Barry. O'Barry between the circles, guarded by Robinson. Gets a screen, hits St. Jean, high right-hand wing into the post, and it's thrown away. Looking for Jones, intercepted by Zador. Bounce pass in transition. Robinson layup is good.
Cocoa doubling down on what they do best there, Michael.
Yeah, transition into points. Points off turnovers, they do it better than anybody else at this tournament, and that's why their lead is 17-12. Kiana Bean. Around a screen, takes a 3, it rattles around and out. Oh, it hung on the rim for what seemed like ages, and Victoria Zador gets the rebound into a trap, throws it across the timeline. Robinson, she's hounded by O'Barry, but gets away from it, now throws it to the right-hand corner.
Timeout on the floor.
Timeout Tigers. It looks like the coach, Aisha Patrick, was not confident that Robinson was going to be able to get out of that. She said she would have traveled. 17-12. So Atlantic gets the big 3, but Cocoa takes it right away.
Atlantic, what they've done a really good job here of doing, honestly, Michael, is they've really enjoyed making Cocoa frustrated at their own game with the full court press there.
Yeah, and we've seen time and time again, like you weren't here, but there was a game against Potter's House Christian from Jacksonville. The Sharks were up big at the break and then ended up losing the game because they committed a bunch of turnovers against the press in the second half, and then against Sanford Seminole also earlier in the season. The same kind of thing happened, although the Sharks did end up winning that game. So it has historical precedent that the Sharks do, falter sometimes when pressed. Cocoa with the basketball. Up 17-12, 5 minutes to play in the half. Tamaria Stanley, deep three, short, but an offensive rebound by Mokwee, ripped away by Jones, and then taps it off of Mokwee's foot and out of bounds.
This upcoming possession is really important here, Michael. Will Atlantic be able to close the lead?
And it's really important for them to keep this game close. That's something I was thinking about putting as key to the game, but not it too obvious. You got to keep the game close and have a chance to win at the end. You can't get blown out here at home. Left-hand corner, driving the lane. Baseline layup is good for Tristan O'Berry, and she's up to 4 points. 17-14, three-point game. Victoria Zador, hounded in her own half, splits a double team, gets the ball into the front court for Robinson. Robinson outside to Soraya Ammons, the 7th grader, the youngest player at the tournament, controls the point. The ball is tipped into the hands of Robinson, shoved underneath, tapped away, but right back to Ammons. Left-hand corner, Zador thought about a three. Back to Ammons, she thinks about a long three, ends up driving, kicks to Zador. Zador between the circles, double teamed by Yisrael and O'Berry, into the left-hand corner for Ammons again. Ammons, left-hand drive, kick out to Tamaria Stanley. Stanley across to Robinson in front of the Sharks bench. Robinson throws it to the corner. Tamaria Stanley, a three, it's too strong, and the rebound goes to the Sharks.
Atlantic quickly moving the ball up the court.
Well, they got in the front court quickly to avoid the press, and now they'll slow it up. Here's Kiana Bean across, then shoveled under to Jones. Jones back to Yisrael corner, St. Jean. St. Jean drives, floater in the lane, no good. Offensive rebound by Bean. Her putback is no good, and the rebound goes to the Tigers, but it's out of bounds off of Zador. Atlantic gets another possession. And I want to take it back just a little bit to that last defensive position by Atlantic. Just fantastic switching out high. Never let them get in the paint.
They're playing especially disciplined here. Can they keep it up? That'll be one of the major keys moving forward.
Yeah, because playing defense man like that is very tiring. Long three on the way. Good from Tristan O'Berry.
And with that, we now have a tie game at 17.
O'Berry with 17, and a turnover to Kiana Bean off the inbounds pass. Bean, Euro step in the lane, it's good!
Atlantic with their first lead of the game.
Their first lead since 2-0, but it is their first lead of the game for a long time. Quickly comes into the front court, Stanley, and one.
And Coco with a clinical response here, securing the and one down the stretch.
Second foul on Yeshaya Yisrael, and man, Coco is so good at every time Atlantic gets momentum, just get it in the court, get it under the basket, force Atlantic into mistakes.
And that's mentality, Michael. I mean, it really comes down to keeping yourself in the game mentally and just have a very short-term memory.
And one no good. Tamaria Stanley skies for the rebound. She's knocked to the ground, and a tie-up underneath. It should go to the Coco Tigers, and it will.
You have to give Atlantic a lot of credit here, Michael. On paper, it really did look like Coco had the advantage, but, I mean, Atlantic's playing their hearts out tonight.
Yeah, still a long time to go, though. 3:09 to go in the first half, and a tie game, 19-19. Out high, three on the way. Ammons too far left. Rebound, grabbed by Yeshaya Yisrael, and Kiana Bean will sprint into the front court. 3 minutes to go in the first half in a tie ball game. Bean shovels it under the basket in the post, into the corner. Three on the way, blocked! That's a huge block by Tamaria Stanley on Yeshaya Yisrael. So Atlantic will grab the ball. Inbounds pass out to Yisrael into the corner. O'Berry, her three-pointer, too strong. And the rebound is grabbed by Coco. Robinson runs the floor into the front court. She is, almost stripped by O'Berry, but O'Berry caught her on the wrist.
Atlantic charged with the reach-in foul.
They're going to call it on Yeshaya Yisrael. I thought that was Tristan O'Berry there, but we'll see.
Coco now in the bonus.
Yeah, and Yisrael goes to the bench with 3 fouls, and that is huge. She was big last night for the Sharks down the stretch. And now into the bonus, 1-1. Front end is good for Ammons. That's her first points of the night, and it's 20-19, Coco back on top. .242 left in a very entertaining and closely fought first half. Excuse me, that's Robinson. Her second is up, and it is good, so she hits them both. 21-19, and the full court press comes again for the Tigers. St. Jean in her own half to Bean. Bean shuffles it across the timeline, and it's tipped and intercepted. Back into the hands of Ammons, and Ammons will slow it up. She stands with her heels on the Atlantic logo. Between her legs, switches to her left hand, gets around a screen, lost the basketball. Diving on the ground for it, Ammons takes it back, and she's going to be tied up by Kiana Bean, and Atlantic has the possession arrow. And that's smart play by Kiana, using the possession arrow to her advantage. It's basically a turnover.
Most definitely. One point I wanted to hone in on here, Michael. Coco, they're starting to play more of the game that we're used to seeing. They started to press again, and it led to a turnover.
Yeah, but they couldn't convert anything off it, so we shall see. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Aliana Jones under the basket. She gets fouled, and she'll go to the line for her third trip of the first half. Now, I think that's what Atlantic needs to get back to doing on more possessions. Recently, they've gone, inside out, kick out, look for threes. I think they just need to attack down low with Jones.
I couldn't agree with you more, Michael. I really think that, based on my perception of how things are going, they're doing really well from the line. I mean, just keep it up,
First one up and good from Jones. And Arroyo comes back in the ballgame for the Cocoa Tigers. Second from the line, Jones good. She is 6 of 6 from the charity stripe. Quickly into the front court, Arroyo has it tapped away. Atlantic basketball.
And
what a play by Lindsay St. Jean to steal the ball and throw it off the shoulder of Arroyo. Atlantic a chance for a 4-point swing here in a tie ball game. 1:50 to play first half. Stepping into the three is, Barry! She got it!
Nothing but nets.
10 points for Tristan O'Barry in the first half. Arroyo into the front court, 2-on-1 for the Tigers. Stanley layup in.
Just as we said before, Michael, Coco, they're really good at responding in the wake of adversity.
Yeah, because every time Atlantic hits a big shot, they just run the floor really fast. That's all they do. Shuffled into the front court, O'Barry. A chance to drive the lane. Kick out to St. Jean, and the ball is stripped from St. Jean by her opposite number, Shakara Robinson.
The double team.
And then out of bounds off of St. Jean, and it'll be a timeout, or a whistle at least. No, it's just a substitution. Nobody called timeouts.
1 minute and 14 seconds remaining in the second.
24-23, Atlantic leads. Oh, man, almost a steal by Bean, but she was just able to knock it out. Alexia Brooks headed to the bench. Yeshai Israel is reintroduced by Coach George Butts.
We call that the no-fly zone, Michael, with that swat.
Here is Talasia Pratt into the corner. Arroyo along three. Back iron no good. And racing out to the corner for the rebound is O'Barry. She's hounded. And is there a timeout? Timeout, Coach Butts, as she saves O'Barry as she was trapped in the corner by 3 Cocoa Tigers. Your score, 24-23, Atlantic Sharks over the Cocoa Tigers. Excuse me, it's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Sharks fans, baseball and softball season is coming soon. You can catch the action from the Diamond on MJT Sports Productions, the official play-by-play home of your Atlantic Sharks. Be sure to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter, all at MJT Sports Productions, so you never miss a moment of the action. Let's go Sharks! And something to look forward to, I will be speaking to Atlantic softball head coach Jessica Hurtado at halftime of the Atlantic boys basketball game on Tuesday night. So stay tuned for that and a preview of Atlantic softball season. 1 minute, 3 seconds to go in this one. 24-23 Sharks lead. And the inbounds pass comes to Kiana Bean. The press again comes from Coco. Bean. Across the timeline to O'Barry. O'Barry almost stripped, but she gets it back. Long two, off the window, no good. Ball pinballs around, taken by Zador, but Bean steals the pass. Bean to the bucket, and she lays it in. 26-23, 38 seconds to go in the first half. Zador races to a double team, gets into the front court, kicks it out. 3 on the way, wide left, but Bean has it go off her foot and out of bounds on the rebound. That 3 was up from Talasia Pratt. Her first game of the season, Pratt, was Wednesday against Astronaut. Was playing with the JV squad before. Under the basket, it goes to Zador, Flowers, who's just checked back in. Flowers thought about a step back 3, but pitches it to the left-hand corner, Robinson. Robinson, left-hand drive, into a double team, splits it, and floater in the lane, off the glass and in. 12 seconds to go. Floater, O'Barry, 8 seconds into the front court. St. Jean back to Bean. 3 seconds, St. Jean, a 3 at the buzzer, no good. And we will head to the break. It's a 1-point ball game. Atlantic 26, Cocoa 25. All the marbles on the line. We will take a break and be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of the 4A District 9 Girls Basketball Championship. Live from courtside here at the Shark Tank on the campus of Atlantic High School. It's the finals of the 4A District 9 Girls Basketball Championship. We are at halftime. The number 3 seed and hometown team, the Atlantic Sharks, lead the number 1 seed, Cocoa Tigers, 26-25. Here are your scoring totals for Cocoa. Leading all scorers with 14 points is Shakara Robinson. Then Tamaria Stanley had 6. Victoria Zador had 3, and Mia Lewis had 2. For Atlantic, leading the way with 10 was Tristan O'Berry, including 2 clutch threes in the second quarter. 6 points, all from the free throw line for Aliana Jones. 7 points for Kiana Bean, and 3 for Lindsay St. Jean. I'm Michael Tribello. Mel Stack Jr. joins me. Mel, your thoughts on a very close first half?
It's definitely been an evenly fought match on both sides. Point number one, Atlantic. They've done a really good job for the most part down the stretch in regard to their ability to handle the transition buckets from Coco. Historically this season, Coco's done a really good job of seizing the moment, scoring lots of transition buckets. Atlantic's, they've made it rather uncomfortable for Coco for the most part.
But where I would say that Coco is getting the leg up on Atlantic is in those transition buckets, right? Or it's not in transition, it's after Atlantic hits a big shot. In the 6 points for Tamaria Stanley, all 6 of those points have come on easy layups in transition when Atlantic, maybe they're caught up in the moment, they just hit a big shot, had a big possession, and they don't track back fast enough. And I think that's something that Coach Butts will really have to get on them about in the locker room.
Precisely, Atlantic moving into the second half, they're really going to need to make those defensive adjustments. If Atlantic, if they want to continue to build on their 1-point lead at the moment and extend it and prevent Coco from scoring those easy buckets, they're really going to have to make them earn it, whether that means hacking them a little bit, fouling them, maybe even having them earn it from the line.
Just under 4 minutes to go until the second half kicks off. We will take a short break and be right back. Once again, your score, Atlantic 26, Coco 25. The second half of the 4A District 9 championship game for the girls is coming up next. Stay with us. Welcome back to Atlantic High School, the finals of the 4A District 9 girls basketball tournament. It's the Atlantic Sharks 26, the Cocoa Tigers 25. One half of basketball down, one still to play. And we were mentioning during the break, that's myself, Michael Torillo, and my co-commentator tonight, Mel Stack Jr. We were mentioning at the break that Atlantic has had a history this season of starting the second half slowly, and they cannot afford to do that against a team as tough as Cocoa.
And that's exactly when the mental aspect of the game becomes equally as important as the physical. Can they keep themselves in the game mentally? Can they stay disciplined on defense?
Here we go. Tigers with the basketball, going right to left. Victoria Zador around a screen into the right-hand corner. Throws it all the way back to the top for Flowers, and Flowers hands to Robinson, who's the top scorer in the ball game right now with 14. Robinson pitches back to Zador between the circles. 7:42 to go in the third quarter. Zador again works right side. Throws it back to the top for Arroyo. Arroyo left-hand corner. Robinson thought about a three, won't take it. Throws it all the way across to Zador in the left-hand corner. Zador drives, gets to the rim. Her layup is no good. Battle for the rebound down low is going to go back to Zador. She throws it back to Robinson. Robinson floater in the lane. Back iron too strong. Rebound to Jones, and she is fouled.
On that possession, Atlantic making really good use of the 3-2 zone here.
That is the second foul on Mia Lewis for the Tigers.
Coco bringing the press here.
Yeah, and the Cocoa coach was not happy with the referee with that foul, having to explain to her. Bean trapped in the backcourt, throws it across the time stripe. It's good to O'Barry into the corner for Yisrael. Yisrael knocked over, and she is fouled.
Foul on the floor, first team foul, of the half.
And that'll be 15, her third real quick on Mia Lewis. So 2 fouls in quick succession. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lewis go to the bench. And indeed she will, as in comes Tamaria Stanley. 6 points in the first half for the 5'4" sophomore guard. 26-25, Sharks lead. 7 minutes exactly to go in the third quarter. Bean sideline in from the opposite side of the court to where we are. Gets it in short to O'Barry. O'Barry to the top for Yisrael. Yisrael right-hand wing. Pitches it back to the top. And back to the top for O'Barry. O'Barry, St. Jean now, high post. Outside, Yisrael, ball goes through her hands. She gets it back and then throws it away to the door, Flowers in the post. Flowers blows by Yisrael into the front court, and she travels. And the entire building knew it.
Y'all gotta stay out the corner.
And that's the kind of a problem. Flowers is listed at 5'8", but she looks taller than that. And when somebody tall like that tries to handle the ball and go around people, you get mistakes like that. St. Jean tried to get it to Jones in the paint, but it's taken away by Arroyo, stripped from behind by Jones, and Jones steps on the baseline. It'll be Tigers basketball under the basket that they attack. 2 listeners left.
6 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the third period. 26-25 Atlantic.
Back up top for Flowers, left-hand corner, underneath to Zador. Zador working on Jones to the rim, and it's good. Zador up to 5 points on the night.
Coco taking advantage of the post play here.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get for Atlantic to get back to, but the Tigers do it better early. Kiana Bean almost has the ball taken away by Arroyo. Into the high post it comes, and then back out St. Jean. Corner, Yisrael drives, kicks Bean, top of the key. Left hand moves to her left, into the left-hand corner, throws it across to Yisrael. Yisrael now double team to the right-hand corner, throws it back across to Bean. Excellent switching on defense by the Tigers here. Bean against Arroyo, hands it back to O'Barry. Top for Yisrael, gets around Arroyo into the paint, and an offensive foul is going to go against Israel, and unfortunately that's her 4th.
Michael, one point I wanted to touch on with regard to Atlantic's offense. One thing I thought they did really well in this past game was they really utilized those off-ball screens to get St. Jean open. I'm curious as to why they're not really doing that today.
Yeah, maybe it's just that the Tigers switched faster than Titusville did, but who knows. But that's 4 fouls on Yisrael. That would be a big loss if she gets her 5th. Stanley into the front court, right-hand corner, Flowers. Flowers drives, gets to the lane, shovels it under the basket to Zador. It's up and no good, but a foul. And it's going to be Kiana Bean's first.
How many fouls I got? I mean, timeout.
Fast start here for the Cocoa Tigers. They lead 27-26. Zador, chance to score the first 3 and 4 points of the quarter. Her first is up and good. Slow start for the Sharks out of the break, Mel. As Zador, 2 bounces of the basketball into the motion. Back iron, no good. Rebound, Aliana Jones. Foul's going to be called underneath. Looks like it's going to go against Stanley.
Cocoa bringing press here. Atlantic moving the ball down the court slowly. Breaking the press.
Into the front court, thanks Mel. A layup is no good from O'Barry. Offensive rebound, Jones. Jones puts it back up, no good. The building wanted a foul, the refs didn't give it. Into the back court. Trying to get across the front court.
That looked like almost a 10-second call there.
Yeah, but the Tigers got it barely into the front court. Here's Flowers up top. Flowers kicks it left-hand wing. Here's Stanley. Stanley guarded by Yisrael, remember, who has 4 fouls. Stanley stands between the circles, moves to her left, hands it off to Arroyo, their top shooter, into the right-hand corner. Robinson, back left-hand wing, into the corner. Stanley, her 3-pointer, good.
Cocoa starting to increase their lead here, up by 5.
It is a 6-point run to open the third quarter for the Cocoa Tigers, and another turnover as a pass into the front court. Oh, and Zador steps on the baseline. That's a huge, huge let-off for Atlantic.
If I'm Atlantic here, take a deep breath. You're only down 5 points. Just run the plays that you've been taught to run.
And Coach Butts was over here asking how many timeouts he had. I honestly might take one at this point, but we'll see. Atlantic, St. Jean steps around a double team into the high post for Jones. Back out Bean. Bean drives into a triple team. Back to Jones. Jones, left-hand corner. O'Barry tries a 3. No good, too strong. And the rebound goes to Coco. Savannah Arroyo takes it. Chance to push the lead even further for the Tigers. They lead at 31-26, 3:43 to go third quarter. Arroyo to Stanley. Stanley roams around to the top of the key, gets it back, left-hand corner, underneath the basket, it goes to Flowers.
That's
up and no good, and uh-oh.
That might be number 5.
Uh-oh. Well, that'll be her 4th on Yisrael, so I had it wrong. So, but Yisrael now has 4.
So now she is 1 foul away from officially fouling out of the game.
Yeah, in the third quarter, and that's huge. Alexia Brooks is set to come in. 2 free throws upcoming for Flowers. Her first one is no good, it rims out.
I expect Israel to, and she comes off the court here.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Jelaya Flowers, who averages 10 points a game this season, not on the scoreboard yet tonight. She's at the line. Her second of 2 is up, and it is good. So first points of the night for Jelaya Flowers, and the press comes again. Across to St. Jean. St. Jean throws it into the front court, trying to find Jones. She does, to the hole, and Jones lays it in.
Beautiful overhead pass down the stretch there.
Just over the fingertips of Flowers, and now Arroyo controls for the Tigers. 4-point lead for Cocoa, 32-28. Robinson tries to drive, gets it stripped by Kiana Bean. Bean runs the floor, gets to the lane, gets fouled up, and good, and 1 for Kiana Bean.
Drawing the foul there. Beautiful play from start to finish, Michael.
That is the second foul on Jelaya Flowers, and Kiana Bean is going to get an and 1 opportunity. Man, she has been the best player by a mile on the team this season. Didn't much see it on Wednesday. She only scored 3 points. But she has shown up tonight, now with 9.
Players show up for big games.
And Kiana Bean, only a junior, she definitely is the future of this Sharks team going forward next season. The and 1 is good, and it's a 1-point game. 32-31, Cocoa leads. The 2-man press comes from Atlantic. Thrown into the front court for Stanley. Stanley, bounce pass right-hand side. Arroyo, 3 in transition, too strong. Flowers is there for the rebound, and she steps on the baseline. Atlantic basketball.
All right, coming up here, Michael, probably the most important possession of the game to this point.
Yep, 31-32. Atlantic trails. Coco pressures again, and they get a turnover, but Aliana Jones immediately takes it back, shovels it across to Lindsay St. Jean. In front of the scorer table, she's double team, gets it to Bean. Bean drives the lane, floater is good for Kiana Bean.
Atlantic with their second lead of the game.
Yep, 33-32. Tigers into the front court. This is where they like to respond. Robinson to the hole. It is up and good from Robinson. Her first points of the second half. 34-33. Coco over Atlantic. Lindsay, St. Jean, back to Aliana Jones, back to St. Jean into the front court. St. Jean pulls up for three, no good. And over the back, they're gonna get Alexia Brooks on that rebound.
I mean, from a neutral's perspective here, you couldn't have asked for a better game, Michael.
Yeah, 34-33, still 2:11 left to go in the third. I mean, anything could happen, but man, I hope it stays this close all the way to the end.
Atlantic with the press here.
Yeah, they pressure the inbounds pass, but then back off. Arroyo into the front court, switches to the left hand, gets past St. Jean, throws it into the corner. Stanley back up top the door. Nobody's guarding her, doesn't take a three, but she drives, Euro step. That was beautiful.
Beautiful.
As she lays it in.
In the soccer world, we would call that a clinical finish.
Nobody touched her. She just went right, left, boom. Bean across the timeline, 1:46 to go in the quarter. Sharks down three. Bean, baseline jumper for Brooks, too strong, into the hands of Flowers. Coco runs the floor. Sharks not back in their set yet, and Arroyo lays it in with the left hand.
Coco extending their lead to 5 points, 38-33, 1 minute and 29 seconds to go in the third.
They really can turn on the speed when they want, Coco.
And
St. Jean,
and
that's to Bean out high. Into the corner for Brooks. Brooks drives, and she travels.
Tensions are rising. Things are getting interesting.
And oof, they're gonna bring Yeshaya Israel back into the game. Remember, she has 4 fouls, but she is the best one-on-one defender the Sharks have in this game.
They're certainly going to need her moving into the fourth period, Michael.
So it's gonna be tough to see if she can stay in the ball game.
I expect her to play rather cautiously on defense to try and not pick up that 5th foul.
5-point lead for Coco, and they have the basketball. Arroyo way up on top. Moves to her left. Hands to Stanley, shovels it under the basket to Zador. Her layup no good, and the rebound goes to Aliana Jones.
Critical rebound for Atlantic here, moving the ball down the court, setting up their half-court offense.
Here's Bean, St. Jean drives the lane, kicks Jones underneath, back out, Bean for three. Oh, the fadeaway won't go, and a foul underneath. And it looks going to be called on Aliana Jones.
Looks like it's an over-the-back foul.
That's Aliana Jones' third. The foul's mounting up for Atlantic.
4th team foul as opposed to Coco's 5th team foul.
So nobody in the bonus just yet, but Coco still with a 5-point lead and the ball. 35 seconds to go in the quarter. Bean almost intercepted, but it's into Zador. Zador shovels it under the basket. Stanley, layup off the window too short. Rebound is going to go to Atlantic over the baseline.
28.2 seconds to go. Atlantic looking to hold for the final shot here of the quarter.
Kamari Brown, the junior point guard, checks into the game for the first time, and she replaces Aliana Jones, who has 3 fouls. A small lineup now for the Sharks. Haven't played this way this game. We'll see how it works out for them. And the Sharks will likely hold for the last shot of the quarter. 20 seconds left, being just now crossing the time stripe in front of the scorer's table. 15 seconds. Bean gets a high screen. Bean, bounce pass. O'Berry. Up top, Bean. Bean, 6 seconds into the corner. Yisrael gets a shot blocked. And staying in bounds is Coco, but St. Jean intercepts a long pass. She'll throw it up from half court. It's no good at the buzzer. We head to the fourth. It's a 5-point lead for Coco, 38-33. This is the FHSAA 4A District 9 basketball championship game on MJT Sports Productions.
we should talk about the implications.
It's time you feel your best, physically, mentally, spiritually, to be centered and supported, to feel the power of a world-class healthcare network coming together to help you take control of your health. It's time to feel whole. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Volusia County School Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. Just 8 more minutes of basketball left here in the 4A District 9 playoffs. It is Cocoa 38, Atlantic 33. Michael Torello, Mel Stack Jr. here from courtside. It's Atlantic basketball and all the marbles to play for. St. Jean gets the inbounds pass back to Bean, and here we go. Can Atlantic make a game of it? Jones in the high post working on Zador. Turn around, doesn't take the shot. Now she does, and fouls and one!
Chance for the three-point play for Atlantic here. This is huge, Michael.
Second foul on Aliana Jones and a chance to cut the lead in half. And one is going to be coming for Aliana Jones. She's got 10 points as of now. Her and one is off the front of the rim, no good. That's the first free throw she's missed tonight. Into the front court, quickly come the Tigers. Zador drives at St. Jean. Another Euro step, and she lays it in. She is really a master of that move. Back to a 5-point lead. Yisrael underneath to Jones. Jones loses the basketball. She crashes to the ground, and Arroyo takes it away. Tigers have a 5-on-4 if they hurry because Jones is still down. Underneath the basket, Flowers has the ball stripped away from her by Yisrael. Yisrael to Bean. Bean still in the backcourt. Got to get the ball out of the front court. She does, and it's out of bounds. Tiger basketball. And Coach Butts is furious. He wanted a moving screen on the door.
Coco, can they score off of the turnover here?
That's what they've done best so far throughout this tournament is points off of turnovers. Arroyo, left-hand corner, Stanley. Stanley, moving screen. Nope, they're going to get 10. They're going to get, Lindsay St. Jean for a foul. That's her third. I thought it was a moving screen against Robinson, but
Coco on the inbound here.
Robinson stands with her heels on the midcourt line. Coach Butts wants the Sharks to pick up the pressure on defense, down by 5. Robinson, high left-hand wing into the corner. Arroyo, her three-pointer, too strong. Long rebound, St. Jean battles for it, and she gets it. And the Tigers back away. Lindsay St. Jean in the backcourt, got to get up, and she does. And a cheap foul on the outside by Arroyo, yeah. I didn't even see it. I think she pushed Bean in the back. And as you might have heard from the Sharks bench, one more and they're in the bonus, but that's the same for the Tigers. 6 fouls each, 6:30 to go in the ball game. Sharks down by 5. Into the corner, St. Jean tries a 3. It's good!
Getting the ball to the playmakers. I expect Atlantic to continue to feed her the ball moving forward.
Only 6 points on the night for Lindsay St. Jean, but they're huge. Arroyo into the front court, lobs it under the basket for Flowers. Flowers on the baseline, 15-footer switch.
Flowers is starting to heat up, let me tell you, Michael.
Yeah, she was big on Wednesday, and she's going to be big down the stretch. Still a 4-point lead now for the Tigers.
Closing in on 6 minutes remaining in the 4th period.
Kiana Bean, right side, guarded closely by Robinson. O'Berry against Arroyo. O'Berry trying to get by Arroyo up top. O'Berry to the lane, has a shot blocked by Zador.
Critical block for Coco here.
Zador throws it up to Stanley. Stanley drives, gets to the paint, and the ball's going to go out of bounds off the Sharks. Coco basketball under the basket that they attack to listeners left.
Closing in on 5 minutes to go, Michael, here. It's really important that Atlantic, they dig deep on defense, they stay mentally in the game, they stay disciplined. Can they hold?
Ball goes into Flowers, quick put up, no, and the ball is out, and it's grabbed by Yisrael. Yisrael against Flowers, who's got about 6 inches on her in height, almost throws the ball away, but Bean grabs it. St. Jean from half court, back guy no good, and the rebound comes to, the ball is tapped away, and it's going to be Coco basketball as it was knocked into the scorer's table by Bean.
38-42, 5 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the ball game.
That's an audacious shot by St. Jean in a tight ball game, with a championship on the line, pulling up from almost half court. I know she hit one on Wednesday, but you can't hit them all the time. Coco with the basketball. Arroyo, left-hand corner, back to the top for Robinson. Robinson floats it left-hand corner to Stanley, back to the middle. Robinson. Robinson, floater in the high post, Flowers. Back to Robinson. Robinson, right-hand corner. Stanley, her three-pointer blocked! But she gets it right back from O'Barry. Into the middle, Flowers, it's overhead and grabbed by St. Jean. Pushing the pace now, here's O'Barry into the front court. She takes a long two, it's in and out, but skies for the rebound is Jones. Her putback won't go.
Coco moving the ball up the court very quickly here, trying to take advantage of those transition buckets.
Zador back to the top for Arroyo. 4-point lead, 42-38 for the Tigers. 4:19 to play in the ball game. The Coco contingent here, getting loud on the road. Robinson just stands at the top, guarded by St. Jean, not even dribbling the basketball. Now 4 minutes to go, she'll back up towards the half-court line. Pitches to Arroyo.
Coco slowing the game down here, taking their time on offense.
I mean, it's a good move if you're Arroyo, because the more possessions Atlantic get, the more chances they ought to get back in this game. Nobody guards the paint. Robinson tries, goes to the lane, gets it done. Just a millisecond of turnoff by the Atlantic defense. Bean against Arroyo, tightly guarded. Bean to St. Jean, back to Bean. Out on top, here's Lindsay. High post, Aliana Jones works to the paint, has the ball stripped. A Tiger basketball.
Crucial turnover.
Six-point game. Tigers with the lead in the ball. Zador between the circles. Here's Arroyo on the Atlantic logo. 3:15 to go. Arroyo gets a screen from Flowers but backs out of it. And now stripped by Yeshaya Israel. Israel into the front court. Takes it to the lane. She thought she got fouled. The ball goes off the underside of the rim and the Tigers take possession again. And Arroyo will now just hold the ball, throws it into the high post for Flowers, who will walk back out high.
2 minutes, 45 seconds to go. 38-44 Coco.
Tigers looking to win their second straight district championship. Flowers with a burst of speed to the lane, and it's going to be a foul on Jones, her fourth. And so now the Sharks have two starters with 4 fouls, Yeshaya Israel and Aliana Jones.
Coco looking to expand their lead here.
Flowers at the free throw line. Went to the free throw line once on an and one on Wednesday and missed it. And Bailey Cameron, the freshman center, checks in for Aliana Jones, the senior who has 4 fouls. First of 2 penalty shots, hangs on the rim and in for Flowers.
Shooting one.
The ball game, you feel maybe slipping away from the Sharks here in the last 2 minutes.
Little by little here, Michael. This next possession for Atlantic, it will be game defining, let me tell you.
Makes them both 46-38, 8-point game. Atlantic's got to start knocking down some shots and they got to start doing it quickly. St. Jean across to O'Barry. O'Barry, back out high, Bean, right-hand corner, double teamed, back to O'Barry. O'Barry into the post for Cameron. Cameron, right-hand corner, driving the baseline is Yisrael. Her layup is no good. Battling for the rebound and winning it is Coco with Zador, who's been dominant on the glass all night. Zador into the front court, 2 minutes to go and an 8-point lead for Coco. Out high, here's Flowers, and she'll slow it down. And do you think the Sharks need a foul here?
I definitely think they need to foul. They need to make Coco earn their remaining points from the line.
Flowers spins past Bean, shovels it under the basket to Door. It's short, and a whistle and an offensive foul. Bailey Cameron got knocked to the ground.
It's do or die here at this point for Atlantic. Can they answer? Can they get themselves back in the game with a possible 3-pointer?
Third foul on Jalea Flowers.
1 minute, 44 seconds to go, 38-46, Coco.
8-point lead for Coco as they try to get their second straight district title win over Atlantic. They did it last year but by a much wider scoreline. It was a 20-point win last season in the finals. This season, much closer. O'Barry, St. Jean in the right-hand corner, double teamed, throws it over the head of O'Barry into the hands of Arroyo, running the floor, putting it up and in.
Extending the lead to 10.
10-point lead with 1:13 to go. Timeout, Coach George Butts. As it is very likely now that is the last timeout he will call as head coach of the Atlantic Sharks after a magnificent 27-year career. 516 and 177, the final record for Coach George Butts here at Atlantic. 4 district titles, 3 state Final Fours. I mean, there are banners with his name on it here in the arena, and I think they might name the arena after him after he retires. I mean, he's just been a pillar of the Atlantic community for the past 2 decades.
He will certainly go down in Atlantic Sharks history. It's definitely been an honor to be able to call one of his matches.
And he is still talking to his team, still coaching them up. Down 10 with a minute to go. Who knows, Atlantic might be able to secure an at-large bid to the state playoffs. It's unlikely, as they will finish with a record of 10-6. Haven't played a lot of games, had a lot of games canceled because of COVID. But this Coco team, they were pushed to the limit today. Multiple times Atlantic had the lead back and forth all night, and they just showed their class in the fourth quarter.
You really have to give Atlantic a tremendous amount of credit here.
O'Barry way on top into the high post, Bailey Cameron. Cameron works down low, off the glass, too short. Rebound is Zador. How many times have I said that tonight? Arroyo grabs the miss, 53 seconds to go. And now the Coco Tigers will just wait it out. 45 seconds to go. Robinson almost stripped by St. Jean. And Arroyo now has it, her heels on the half-court line. Throws it back to Robinson. Sharks really got to try and force a turnover here. Robinson just dribbling out the clock. The Coco crowd gets loud here, the ones that have traveled all the way from Brevard County. 20 seconds to go. Zador into the paint. Lindsay St. Jean trying to take a charge, and Zador just peels away and walks back to the top. Atlantic will not foul. 10 seconds to go. The crowd here at the Shark Tank rises to its feet. Once again, as with last year, the Coco Tigers are queens of 4A District 9.
What a terrific game from start to finish, Michael.
The final score, Coco 48, Atlantic 38. It's a 10-point better margin of victory for of defeat for the Sharks than last year when they lost by 20. They pushed the Sharks all the way. I mean, in my opinion, my very biased opinion, they should be in the state playoffs. But if this is it for Coach Butts, it's been a remarkable career. For Lindsay St. Jean, for Kyra Isaac, for Aliana Jones, and for Alexia Brooks. They have had insane amount of success here as Atlantic Athletic Director Ron Griffin presents the district trophy to head coach Isa Patrick and the Coco Tigers 2 years in a row. Mel, you've been with me for most of this tournament, and you couldn't have asked for a better game to cap it off. It was really tight all the way.
You really do have to give both teams a lot of credit. Atlantic, they weren't favored to win this game. They kept it competitive from start to pretty much almost the last, I would say, 2 minutes. And as opposed to Coco, I mean, they really came through, and they demonstrated why they're going on to the next round.
On to the state playoffs with the Coco Tigers. They are ranked in the top 10 in the 4A state rankings by Max Prep, so definitely one of the favorites to go all the way in the 4A state playoffs. We will watch their journey throughout the playoffs with very much of an interest. We will take a short break to tally the stats and totals, and we'll be right back to wrap it all up here from the Shark Tank. Once again, your final score, Coco 48, Sharks 38. The Coco Tigers are your 4A District 9 girls basketball champions. We'll be right back. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of the 4A District 9 basketball championship. Welcome back to the Shark Tank. The final score of the district championship game, Cocoa 48, the Atlantic Sharks 38. Cocoa, for the second year in a row, wins the 4A District 9 championship game. Michael Gervillo and Melstadt Jr., we have had the pleasure of calling both this game and the semifinals on Wednesday, and I called the quarterfinals on Tuesday. It's been a long week. We get to do it again next week for the boys tournament. I know you are going to try to be here for some of it. I'll be here for all of it.
It's certainly been a pleasure relieving you here, Michael, that's for sure.
Yeah. Your final stats for the victorious Cocoa Tigers, leading the way with 16 points is senior Shakara Robinson, 10 points for Victoria Zador, 9 points for Tamaria Stanley, 7 points for Savannah Arroyo, 5 points for Mia Lewis, 5 points for Jalea Flowers, 2 points for Mia Lewis, and for the Atlantic Sharks, 12 points for Kiana Bean, 10 points for Tristan O'Berry, 6 points for Aliana Jones, 6 points for Lindsay St. Jean, and that's the final score of 48-38. And next season for Atlantic, they've got a lot to look forward to. Yes, they're losing the services of Aliana Jones and Lindsay St. Jean, a dynamic pairing in the front court, but they've got they've got Kiki Bean coming back for her senior season. The dynamic duo of Tristan O'Berry and Yeshaya Israel, they're both Israel's a junior, Tristan O'Berry's a sophomore, they'll both be back. They've got fantastic talent coming up as Vanessa Sprata, a young guard, Bailey Cameron at center, who got some play tonight, a 6'1" freshman, Kylie Isaac, who's seen play sporadically throughout the season. I'm really excited for where this Sharks team can go in the future.
I mean, unfortunately for Atlantic, it is the end of an era, it's the end of a season, but moving forward, just to add to what you said, I mean, they're going to be locked and loaded next year. They have a lot of great talent moving forward into the next season.
Thank you so much for listening both tonight and throughout the Girls 4A District 9 basketball tournament. MJT Sports Productions will be back next week for the 4A District 9 boys tournament. The first day is Tuesday night, 6 p.m. for the quarterfinals. You can find us in the same place you're watching us now at MJT Sports Productions on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So for Athletic Director Tron Griffin, Atlantic Head Coach George Putz, for my analyst Milstack, I have been Michael Gervillo saying so long and have a good evening.